Hey everyone, Jason here with Phase Shift Games, and welcome to our second episode of The Gamer Side. This is a series I started where I'm going to shed some light on the game-loving gamer side of me and how I tie that back to my role as publisher through Phase Shift Games. So today what I wanted to do is take a look at this ever-popular game, Marvel United, which my group absolutely loves. We play this a ton. And I have devised a storage solution for quite a lot of content here. And I wanted to take a few to go through how I organized it and consolidated everything into the boxes that you will see on the table here. Is it the best solution? Maybe not, but it's the one that so far has worked for me and my group. And let's take you through it. It's a lot. Now, first of all, what do I have? I have essentially all three of the main Marvel Kickstarters. The DC stuff isn't out yet. I may be missing a couple of the Kickstarter exclusives from one of the three. The original, the X-Men, and the Multiverse. Or I might have gotten the order screwed up there. But I do have almost all of the content for all three of those. So I've consolidated all of that into just the boxes that are on the table here. So let's take you through it. All right. First, and probably most exciting for any players that are coming over to play, this is the box of heroes. Every single hero in the game is in this one box. Now, what is this box? This is one of those I guess you use them for like collectible card games. It can hold sleeved cards. These separators are removable, so I have them all in just because. And I basically start with A all the way through alphabetically, the 4 different lanes, all the way up to Yondu at the end here. So each one I have printed a separator. So, for example, this is one of those plastic, harder plastic holders for collectible cards. And then I printed out these separators and I put them inside. These are available on Board Game Geek. There's actually a few different versions. I found a version that I liked and printed out every single divider that was available. And so this is every single hero. Now, one issue that I have, there are, so for example, Iron Spider here. In one of the sets, they released equipment. So here are 2 small web shooters, 2 small equipment cards for Iron Spider. And right now, I have no other solution other than just putting them in front of the poker cards there. My issue is, for people who may not realize, you may just go and grab the poker deck of cards there and not realize that there were smaller cards in front. I don't want them to get lost. So I haven't figured out what I want to do with these small equipment just yet. I think all I'm going to do is take a premium poker sleeve, put the small equipment cards into the poker sleeve, and put that maybe right in front of the divider here. So it's a little more obvious. And anyone that's pulling out, it at least would be the same size as the rest of the cards. So you'd pull it out with it, and then you'd say, oh, yeah, there's a sleeve with equipment in there. So anyway, aside from the equipment, this is beautiful. There is nothing not to like about this. You hand the box around the table, and people just go through and find the character that they want, and away we go. Okay. Similar is this one. Oh, I like the way these boxes all stack, too. By the way, I don't have the lids. The lids right now, I have the main box inside the lid, but they all have lids that you could put on as well. And they do all close nice and flush. I just generally leave the lids off because we play this so much, and they do still stack nicely. Okay, now we have the villains. Again, A through Z, all the way down to, who's the last one here? Wrecking Crew, W. And all of their respective cards. There are no small cards for any of these, so this is just perfect. It takes up almost the full box. There are less villains than heroes, but not by much. Then over here in the last 2 slots that I have, this one is for the campaign decks. And each campaign deck, of course, has its own divider, the Age of Apocalypse. Of course, the dividers are actually a little shorter than the cards for the campaign decks, because these are like bigger, almost tarot size. I haven't done any of these campaigns yet. I've heard mixed reviews about them. I think the general sentiment is they tried to do something that the game wasn't really meant to do, because some of the campaigns force some of the modes, like the one versus many mode or the team versus team, and I think a lot of people are like, this game's just about picking heroes and picking a villain and go. So anyway, someday we might try these, but at least I have them available. And they fit in there perfect. And then for now, this last slot here is for all of the dividers that I printed and sleeved that I don't yet have cards for. Grey Hulk is a promo character that I just don't have yet. Human Torch, I guess, is a promo or came in a box that I don't have. Blob, I know, was a promo. Anyway, so that is for all my extra dividers, which at some point I hope to fill out. And then any duplicate cards. I do have a bunch of duplicates because you get the same cards in some of these boxes, so I just throw them there. All right, so that's all the cards. Well, not all the cards. Let's talk about this one now. I'll get to the main box there in a minute. This is the third box that is similar, I guess, with cards, but also now other stuff. Notice that I have taken out two dividers, one of the horizontals and one of the verticals. And what that lets me do is, I'll show you those in a minute, that lets me put the locations, a gigantic stack of locations. This is every location. In Ziploc here, I put just the ones that are specialty with that gold hand in the upper left. Those are like, I think, only used in scenarios, but this is all the others. There's so many. And they fit nicely in there, along with a couple little plastic containers for some of the tokens that are larger. I'll show you all the smaller tokens in a minute. And then my 3D printed threat tokens, counters, and just kind of generic stuff. So those fit nicely there. This nice long slot here is perfect for all the villain dashboards. What we do is, once again, notice how many this is. Each of these has a deck of cards in the other box there. These are all the ones we have not yet defeated. And then in this Ziploc bag are all the ones we have. Notice the difference. We have defeated a lot because we played this a lot, but there are still so many that we haven't played or defeated. Okay, then over here I have the team decks. These are fun. We've been playing with these. So if you want to play as A-Force, here's the team deck for A-Force, and where's there it is, the team members. So those are the characters that you can play with to be A-Force, and then of course you get their special deck of cards that you have access to. You'll notice, well, I'll get to that. There's we've started stickering these, and we'll start to sticker our hero and villain dividers as well. I'll explain that in a minute because that's over here. All right, so those are the team decks over there. Up in the top left, I have some of the bigger tokens that kind of don't fit anywhere else. Mainly, it's the new Sinister 6 pieces, these cardboard puzzle pieces. There's a lot of them. They take up a thick space, and so that fits perfectly there. I put this on top, which I think is the main puzzle for that. And this, Danger Room. Some of these things, it's content that, I may never even get to. Location effects that are locked. We never really use those. That is a equipment card for it's the one equipment card for Gambit that I don't have Gambit yet. Anyway, now look at these. I bought these from Amazon. These are just simple little check and X stickers, but this is so cool. Here's what I said I'd get back to. What did we just recently do? ForceWorks. We just recently played a game here with this team deck, ForceWorks, and we failed. The villain won, and so we put a little X sticker right onto this divider. And we're going to do this with all of the villains and the heroes. If we play a game with a hero and we win, then we'll put a green check on it. If we play a game against Nemesis here and we win or fail, we'll put the green check or red X accordingly. Just fun, right? No other reason. Just to kind of keep track. And as we're looking through, we're like, oh, we've never actually won with Puck, for example, because Puck's a hard character to win with, by the way. So that's fun. So I got those stickers over there. Then in the middle are these, essentially for every game, that you may want to add a challenge. There's challenges. The missions are here. The main mission cards. So these are like the generic cards. Superhero, supervillain, and so on. Team Blue. Some of those cards are for some scenarios, but mostly they're just generic cards. Advanced training, and then there's other training cards all the way in the back, I think. Yep. And lastly, in this generic set of cards is the pets. So we have pet companions. I did just put the figs for the pet companions because they're so small in a Ziploc bag right in front, and then each deck. So here's Alligator Loki, his 3 cards, and his rules card. And that is that. All right, so that's that. Now, I also had these, which I quickly... Oh, no! Well, that'll make the rest of this more interesting as I clean that up. Okay, so these are 3D printed token trays that I had found online with magnetic covers, which are really nice. And I have the plastic tokens in there. So these are the ones for fight, and that damage one shouldn't be in there. Fight and wild and so on. And then this one is for the damage. Put that back. And crisis tokens. And then in this tray were all of the thugs. And I also have some of the plastic double-sided ones because there are some times when you need to randomize. And so I left those in there. But generally I have these nice 3D printed thug tokens. And of course, civilians is the last one, which is the one that I dumped out mostly. Put those back in. Okay, so those little token trays, there we go. I kind of just lay in here, and they fit kind of perfect. So that's the cards and this generic box. Now, I also had this one out on top. I have I just used the Age of Apocalypse, one of the thinner main boxes, and that has small little token trays, 2 of them for all the plastic tokens split out by type. So nice and accessible when I need to find a specific token. We just played with these hydro or water spots just in the last game or 2. And, these are very situational, specific, right? Only certain characters, certain villains, or certain scenarios, heroes, villains, or scenarios will require these. I don't even know what this die was from. I haven't used that yet. All right, so those are those little token trays. And then the instructions. So I have a printed FAQ here, Fin Fang Foom's thing, the villain dashboard, which I never use because we have the neoprene mat, of course. And then essentially, get them all out. There we go. This has every rules sheet that has come out so far, because sometimes you do have to reference back. And so like Civil War here, for example, and then inside is the special dashboard for Civil War. And I do that with every one of them where there's a special dashboard. Fantastic Four, Coming of Galactus, there's that one, and so on. So if I ever want to play a specific scenario, everything is ready to go. This one, the Age of Apocalypse, is out because it's a single-sided sheet. So it just sits in front. And so that is my instructions box. And the main rule book on top. Tokens. And close that up. Now, the figs. So, 2 more boxes over here for my figs. Here's what I did. And this may surprise some. And some people may say, oh my God, I would never do that. They're going to get broken. You have too many in one bin. I am all about convenience. I am all about quick setup, quick access to things. I'm not painting these. I don't know how you people, I so admire you if you have gone through all of this Marvel stuff and painted them. Oh my God, that would be amazing. So I'm not painting them. And these are made from impressive plastic quality. So I am not worried that, and if I find someday that some little arm or tendril has been broken off, I'll glue it back on. I am not worried. So for me, this system works well. Now, what do? I put little stickers here. A, Those are all the heroes and villains that start with the letter A. B, C. Now, C had too many, so I split C and C here. And when I split, I separate out the reds and the purples in one, which are the villains and the mixed, and then the heroes, here's Chode, in the other. So I hand, once people choose their heroes over in the other box, I hand this around the table. They sift through, and they're like, oh, yep, there's, whatever. There's Loki, there's Lockjaw, and the L. This works well. And then if there are cases where figs go together always, such as Doppelganger and Demogoblin here, I put them in a Ziploc bag just so that they stay together, because you'll never play with only one, not the other. And that goes through all the way. I think even in M, which spills over to the next box, there's the heroes for M. I think in this, down at the bottom in M is Moon Knight and, not Moon Knight, Moon Girl and Devil Dinosaur. And it's a big fig, but it actually fits in here. Stature, who's over here, actually could fit in here in a certain way. If she stands up, then her head kind of peeks out, and I didn't want to do that. So I kind of keep her separate, and also Fin Fang Foom and Galactus. Those are and I'll get to these boxes in a second. Those are the bigger figs that for now I'm just keeping separate so that these can lay flat. Again, you can stack things one on top of the other. You could put the lids on, and this is 98% of everything. So now what is left after all of that? As I just mentioned, we have Galactus here. He ain't going to fit into any box, so he will just probably sit on a shelf. Fin Fang Foom, who we just finally beat. We had to attack him a couple times. He was hard, and there was actually a discrepancy between the rule on Board Game Geek in the write-up and the rule on his villain dashboard. So we went with the villain dashboard. We were encouraged to do that by others in the community as well, that they thought that would be the more accurate. Anyway, with that, it took some special planning, but we were able to knock him out. And Stature could, I think that's Stature, right? She could fit again into one of the big boxes, but for now, I'm keeping her out. 3 figs separately, not a problem. And the only other things from the 3 main Marvel United Kickstarters that are not in anything I just showed are the special Infinity Gauntlet scenario, because it has this gigantic glove, and special tokens. You'll notice I took out I think it's the Children of Thanos, the other figs and their cards, because those are in the boxes, because you can play them separately as separate villains. But if you want to beat up Thanos, and you are going to go through the whole Infinity Gauntlet scenario, then you pull out this special box and his special locations just for that scenario. So because it has so many bigger components just for that one scenario, I keep that box on its own. Likewise, Days of Future Past has these really wicked cool Sentinel minis. They're not mini. I mean, look at it next to Fin Fang Foom. They're taller than Fin Fang Foom. And there's 3 of them. And one of them came with the arms broken off. I think a lot of people had that, but I just glued that back on, no problem. So again, because they're just so gigantic, I keep them and Nimrod on their own, along with the special cards. And those I kind of leave on a shelf a little further away from everything else, because in general, when we play, we're just picking random heroes and villains from these gigantic boxes, finding the right fig and going. And then, of course, I have the neoprene mat somewhere way over there. These will go on a shelf, and essentially only when we want to play that scenario do we pull that box out. We've already beat the Infinity Gauntlet, so honestly, we may never play this one again. Days of Future Past we did not beat, and it seemed prohibitively hard, but I wonder if we were doing something wrong. So someday we'll get back to that. In any case, that is my Marvel United collection and how I've organized it. We absolutely love this game. We will play it a ton. I don't go through this level of effort for most games, but this one seemed to deserve it. Certainly We spent enough money on it that treating it well and giving it a nice organization solution. And I just love these boxes that they can stack. I could literally take all 5 of these and stack them. There is no lid lift or worry about crushing anything with the way they're set up, even with the dividers. Even with all the figs, the way that I've split them out. And I could even consolidate a couple compartments, I guess it's in the next one there. There were 2 towards the end. Yeah, I have X through Z all the way in the back, and there's still only like 2 or 3 figs in it. I could combine that in with W and free up a space, and then something like D here, I could then split out because it is a little tight. But that's just figuring out how you want to separate the various sets. In any case, I think that does it for Marvel United. Thanks for listening. Please like, subscribe, and share. We are trying to grow this channel, and I'm going to be doing many more of these things, just talking about my collection, talking about what I do, why I do it, and how I tie that back to my role as publisher. In this case, there isn't a whole lot that I can tell you about what this means for me as a publisher, other than that I am all about optimization and convenience. And one of the words that you'll hear me talk about a lot as we move forward is elegance. Elegant is the opposite of fitty for me. In fact, I'm going to announce in the next video, I'm going to start talking about the fitty factor. It's a little gauge I'm going to add onto my 10-point rating for games, the fitty factor. Fittiness is something that really gets in my way of enjoying a game and ultimately may lead to having it leave my collection. And Marvel is the opposite of fitty. It is the ultimate of elegance. It is so straightforward. Do you ever have to go and look at the rule book and reference, what happens in this scenario? Like almost never, except for scenarios, of course. Every scenario has special rules, but the core of it is so elegant. And I love that. And I do try to pull that sentiment into all the games that we will launch through Phase Shift Games, games that I design, games that I work with designers to develop and ultimately put out into the public. Are we 100% successful? No, because we're not perfect, but that is a sentiment that I absolutely try to bring forward. And Marvel United, the reason it's here and as large a collection as it is because it is probably the epitome of elegance, and I love that. So with that, thanks so much for watching. Going to sign off for today. Again, this is Jason with Phase Shift Games. Thank you. Have a great one. Bye.